So, gubbings, bans, accounts getting closed, minimum stakes, maximum stakes. It's very frustrating when your account gets gubbed. So here are 4 simple tips that you can carry out with your account to keep them open longer and have less gubbings and to squeeze as much profit out of the bookies as possible. So I'm Mr. Bet Smart, welcome back to my channel. If you need any help with anything match betting, then look through my videos, instructional guides on how to do various different offers and techniques. So without further ado, let's just jump into the monitors. So the first of the 4 tips is not betting on low liquidity markets. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, low liquidity markets are basically ones where there's not many people putting money into it, there's not many people betting on it, and you putting bets on them is going to be sticking out a little bit more like a sore thumb than the bigger markets. So for example, if we look at some of the matches we've got at the moment, so it's currently the evening of Sunday, Barcelona v Real Sociedad. This is clearly a relatively big market, so we can see on Smartcast that there's £300,000 that have been traded on the full-time result market alone. So when we're doing qualifying bets, then this is a kind of market that won't be flagged up as being low liquidity. If we say went on something a little bit more obscure, so let's go for darts potentially, then these sort of markets are going to be having way less money traded on them. So here on the exchange, we've only had £25 actually traded. We've got lots queued up, but yeah, there's really low liquidity on this market. So this is an example of one that would stick out a little bit more on the bookmaker. Why do we want to not stick out? Well, if we're betting along with the rest of the punters on the bookies, then we're gonna not stick out as much, and the account's going to be open a little bit longer, and it just means that traders aren't going to be seeing your account coming up on their screens as much. So yeah, it's just a good tip for trying to keep your account open longer. Try and keep this one quite prioritized because it is a really good one. Tip number 2 is to place mug bets. Now, lots of people in the match betting community argue over whether this is a useful technique or not. I think it is a good technique, and at the end of the day, if it's not going to lose you any more money, then I don't see what the issue is in trying it out at least, because it essentially, you know, is gonna, I think it's a no-brainer that it's gonna make your account look less match betting and more like a regular punter. So what is a mug bet? A mug bet is basically where you are betting on an event that has no bonus or promotional gain for you. So let's say there's the £5 bet offer that you can get with Sky Bet sometimes, where if you bet at half time you then get a £5 free bet. Now, when you're only betting on this event every single time, then it's going to quickly add up that you're only really betting with them to get their offers. Now, if you then chuck that offer that you do, and then you also do say 3 or 4 more bets in the week that don't give any bonus or promotion linked to them, then it's going to look way more match betty and way more like a regular punter. So this is another good one to do. So bigger markets as well can usually help, just to make it look like you're betting with the other money and the other punters trying to make money gambling. So I think mug bets is a good one. I would also recommend laying off the mug bet, so looking for close matches on high profile events, and this means that you're basically going to be losing very small qualifying losses or even no qualifying losses, just to be looking like to the bookie you are punting and you are gambling when actually you're not. You're calculating to try and make it look like that to the bookie. So I think this is another really good tip to take advantage of. If you are a match better and you don't agree with me, please leave it in the comments below and we'll have a little discussion, because I love talking about things like this and why there are differing opinions. The third tip is not staking the minimum for offers. So say for example, there's the Bet365 bet £50 offer and you can get a £50 free bet. Sometimes it's good to increase the amount that you do, so it looks like you're not just trying to get the minimum amount and the smallest qualifying losses for the offer and the terms to be accepted for them. It can look way better if you're saying do slightly more, like £70 or £100, because to the bookie you're looking like you're not just doing the minimum bare amount to get the promotional offer and the free bet. You're actually betting more because you're thinking about punting way more than you're actually thinking about the free bets. So if we can give off this image to the bookie that we just want to punt, and oh, the free bet is, you know, a second prize to the winnings we think we're going to make, then that's perfect, because that's what we want the bookie to think. But if we're just putting, say, the minimum amount, say the £50 qualifying bet on, then it's going to look a lot more simpler to the traders to ban you and gub you, and it's going to add up very quickly. So we just want to stay under the radar and give off a persona and an image to the bookies that we are not just solely there to take advantage of their offers and free bets. The final tip, number 4, is the timing of your bets is super important. If you're putting a bet on, say there's insane odds, there's a back of 10 and a lay of say 7, so there's a massive arb price boost that you're taking advantage of, and the event is still 2 weeks away, then this is clearly going to look suspicious, and the bookie is going to be throwing you out as a red flag, and you're going to be sticking out massively, because this is not something that regular bettors and punters are going to do. They're very rarely going to bet on an event that's in a few weeks' time. They're usually going to only bet on things that are literally the same day, if not in the next day or two. As soon as you start hitting 4 or 5 days' time, then it does just look a bit suspicious, and it will stick out. So I've brought up the terms for the 2-up offer here, because quite a lot of the times we see really good matches for events that are in quite a long time away, so a couple weeks or 10 days. It can be really tempting to put these on because they're such good odds, but sometimes it's good to take restraint and make sure that you're not sticking out, because you want to keep your account longer so you can keep doing offers like this rather than just taking the good odds when you see them and matching them off at the exchange. So take restraint for 2-up offers or for any bets. I think a good rule of thumb is 3 to 4 days max. Any more and you're just going to be sticking out massively, and we don't want the bookies, you know, seeing us. We want to be staying under the radar, and this is another good tip for that. So yeah, that's all the 4 tips. Just to clarify and conclude it one more time, don't bet on low liquidity markets, so ones that aren't high profile. Place mug bets, but lay them off with good matches, so that you're not looking like you're only putting bets down for promotional offers and free bets. Number 3, don't stake the minimum amount on every offer, because then you're going to look like you're just doing the bare minimum just to get the free bets and the offers. And number 4, make sure you are timing when you're placing your bets correctly, so that you're not looking like you're just getting on some really good odds for the back end lay, and you're actually genuinely looking like a punter. That's all we're trying to do, is look like a punter as much as we can, look like we're just gambling, and these techniques can really help with that.
And there we have it. Those are the 4 best tips for keeping your accounts open longer and having less gubbings. So make sure you keep doing those little techniques just to keep your accounts open longer and longer to get the most profit out of the bookies. So if there's anything I can help you with, leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram and I'll reply to all the messages. Without further ado, that's me done for another video, and I'll see you in the next one.